Hi, I'm John. This is my poetry project. It was inspired by Python because I was looking at it and I was kind of squinting my eyes and was like, that looks like poetry. And then I discovered critical code studies and authors like Nick Montfort and Lillian Von Bertram, and they're already working in that same space, especially Lillian Von Bertram, who talks about how code is the invisible back end of the computer. And so I thought it would be really interesting to write a poem in code that you don't actually get to see, and then have the code produce a poem that you can't actually read. Um, and then in between all of that is another poem, secret third layer. Uh, so that's pretty much the gist of it, and it's a lot of fun to create. I had to learn Python in order to create it, which was a little stressful.
Yeah.
But it's been a labor of love for sure. Yeah.
I mean, you're a second year MFA student, and so I guess coming in, did you expect you would eventually be writing like Python based poetry? And
No, not at all. I had absolutely no idea that this was going to happen. I definitely thank Dr. Pressman for my very first semester here, for my first year, who introduced us to it, or else I would have never even taken this route. Yeah.
and you have another component to this, right?
Yeah. We built a. I was worried that we weren't going to be able to get the project running, so we built a mock computer with blue light installed, so you could read the code in the background to kind of highlight how it's there, but not. You never think about it when it is there. So this is actually a screenshot of my laptop with a green border that I added because I couldn't get it to fit. Um, because the place that I bought the canvas from had really wonky photo editing software. But and then so we just cut a hole in it so you could look back and you could see that the whole code in its entirety back there to kind of create the feeling, like a visual representation of how it works.
Nice.
Yeah.
How have you been liking the showcase?
It's amazing. There's so much good stuff. I'm like, I don't know how I won. Cause yeah, look around. So yeah, it's so rad. So many creative people. It just feels so good just to be around. You know, like the osmosis.
Yeah.
It's how creativity forms, I think.
And what about your third year? Did you go submit again?
Oh hell yeah. Sure, yeah. I'm working on something else already.
Ooh, nice.
We'll see how it goes. Yeah.
Well, we can't wait to see it. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And congrats.
Hi, my name is Tees. I'm an MFA in poetry. I'm a second year. This is my video poem that I made using Canva and Canva's video editing software. It includes footage that is archived from the 50s to the 80s of a filmmaker's family footage. So it has this kind of older nostalgic feeling to it. And the audio, which you can't hear right now, is a xylophone that my partner was playing in a public park. So it has this, kind of ephemeral quality to it of these people in the background, and then the music that he's making, and then the poem I wrote, and it's kind of epistolary. It's like writing to a beloved who has died. So there's this feeling of loss and grief, but also love and moving on. Yeah.
Awesome. It's really cool. What kind of inspired you to write this?
I first wrote I had several letters back and forth. And then when I had the audio filmed, I actually did the audio recording first and felt like it really deserved a sentimental, intimate poem to go with it. And so I shortened one of the letters that I wrote to fit the video. And then I found the footage afterwards. It kind of just came together. The footage also was originally 30 minutes long, but the audio was only 30 seconds. So I had to really be selective with it.
Nice. Well, how are you liking the showcase?
I love it. It's such a special opportunity that SDSU has to have the showcase and showcase digital works. And in the Digital Humanities Center especially, it just brings us all here for a same shared passion and love. Awesome.
Well, thank you so much, and congrats on being an honorable mention.
Okay. Hello, I'm Veed Sale Reed, and I made this project called Bread and Circus. It is a hypertext interactive fiction that I made in Twine. And so right now it's just a demo, but we've got these little excerpts. We've got some things you can read. Hit the back button. Got a receipt that I made and formatted in Twine. And then if you navigate the site enough, it will unlock a secret link at the bottom.
Oh.
It wants you to read this, and then you can get into the antagonist that I've made for this game when it is eventually finished. Yeah,
Ooh,
that's
so cool.
that's what I got.
Nice. So what inspired you to create this?
So the story itself is about AI and how it is already integrated with humans and how it might integrate and how people are afraid of it integrating, like people are afraid of AI taking over the world. But in my opinion, there are more relevant and immediate and frightening things that AI can do and is doing. So I sort of wanted to explore that and also explore that with comedy, with humor, because a lot of this is very silly and satirical. But the feedback I've gotten so far is that like it's silly, but it's also a little too real sometimes. But yeah, that was the intent behind it is really getting into that.
Nice. How are you liking the showcase?
Oh, it's so cool. This is my first year as a graduate student at SDSU. And I wasn't even going to submit anything to the competition, but Dr. Pressman really encouraged me to in the digital humanities class. And yeah, I'm so glad that I did. And I'm so glad I took that class because I didn't know the Digital Humanities Center existed before that. And like this place has so many resources for students and for creating things like creatively and academically. It's such an incredible space.
Awesome. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
And thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Robert.
And I'm Rachel.
I'm a third year graduating MFA.
I am an information systems major graduating with my bachelor's degree.
Nice. And so you guys won last year on a collaborative project, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
How does it feel now this year seeing all the new projects?
Relieved that we didn't submit this year. Competition is really stiff. No, it is so incredible. I feel like every year we come to this, I find more and more new things I didn't think were possible here. And so I'm just so happy to see this continuing on and seeing that it's going to get harder and harder to try to win the competition.
I completely agree. I think it's such an incredible thing that competition has been so popular and like intense this year that like there's so many works that I've gotten to look around and see that like all should have won. Which I'm so happy that this is how this turned out. And congratulations to you, Kasside.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Very much so.
Very, very rad project.
And you guys are both graduating, so this is your last showcase.
Yes.
Any plans for DH after this?
I mean, I definitely want to continue to create electronic literature and be involved in this space.
Yeah, I'm definitely taking everything I've grabbed while I was here and bringing it to my next venture. And I mean, I don't think you can truly leave the DH Center once you're here. So my heart will always be here, and I do hope and plan to come back and stay tuned for potential stuff coming in the future.
Definitely.
Yeah.
All right. Any last words? Graduating.
Check out the ELIT studio. I'm super excited to see what that project turns into over the next couple of years.
Keep your eyes posted on the Digital Humanities Center in the future. Big stuff's coming.
All right. Thanks so much.
Hi, I'm Joey King, one of the judges for the 2025 Electronic Literature Competition. It was so much fun looking at all of these wonderful works, from twine pieces to digital pieces of poetry, patchworks of QR code quilts, this really innovative piece of poetry. If you look inside here and read the poem, it's a very innovative space to be. It's really exciting to see all of these works together coming to life, and very happy for the winners who put a lot of hard work into their projects and deserve the recognition.
Yeah. So you did your undergrad here, and now you're finishing your master's. You
I
just
am.
finished your thesis. Did you ever expect you'd finish being like a judge for this whole
No,
competition?
no, I didn't. I think finding this realm of study in the digital that was definitely not something I expected in my studies at SDSU, but something I'm very pleased to have incorporated in with my studies, as I feel like it has really rounded out all of the things that I do and kind of putting everything into a 21st century perspective, where I can take that in whatever I do.
Yeah, you're speaking of that, you're graduating. Are you gonna bring DH with you into the
Oh,
future?
of course, most definitely. I think it is very much the future, whether we're talking about AI or just digital ways of producing work. It's not going anywhere. If anything, we're becoming more and more digital. So it's important to embrace and collaborate with the digital.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much.
Thanks.
All right. Hi, I'm Quentin Bailey. I'm currently the chair of the English department. I've come here because there are a lot of English students, including some prize-winning entries here. So I've come down to see them and see the level of interest, which seems to have grown somewhat this year. So that's fantastic to see.
Yeah. And you've been working here for quite a while. And so
18 years.
yeah.
Yes.
So you've got to see kind of DH and the center and all these programs kind of just grow and grow. How has that been for you?
Yeah, it's been interesting because at the beginning I was sort of interested, but not really in any position to get involved. The last few years as department chair, I've had a more hands-on role, and it's been fantastic. I think post-pandemic, to see it as one of the ways that bring people from different parts of campus together. I think that's always been its strength, but particularly after the pandemic and the closures that produces. So,
Anything kind of new you've learned, or even in your like research or like teaching like methods, anything that's like brought in DH elements?
yeah, funnily enough, I mean, I think it's the ways that it's brought about a renewed focus on materiality, like thinking about the way things are actually made rather than the thing that's been made itself.
Awesome.
That's the thing that I've taken from it.
Yeah. Well, awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming to support.
Good, and congratulations.
Thank you.
All right.
So my project is extending the ethnic digital humanities to a transnational topic, and in this case, it is the invasion of William Walker and approximately 10,000 individuals from the U.S. and from other parts of the world. They invaded Nicaragua in 1855, and so this particular project involves 4 separate classes. They're Intro to U.S. History before 1865, and it's in the Department of Chicano Studies. I'm a historian. And what I ended up doing was giving each student the name of a filibuster, one of the individuals who went to Nicaragua with Walker. And so each student wrote a biographical paragraph on each one of these filibusters. And this project, how it started was I was interested in creating a list of these filibusters and realized that Professor de la Cova, who unfortunately passed away about a decade ago, had created one. And so my students are building on his work. I have to give credit where credit is due. And they're building on his work, and then they're using additional sources, primary documents, and so it circumvents AI, and they're using diaries, they're using census materials, their marriage records, death certificates. It's endless, just the number of primary documents and actually secondary sources also to document the lives of these individuals. And I think one of the most difficult things to do for them is to actually create neutral content, because especially the newspapers, if we go all the way to the to where the sources are, we can just you can see them.
Yeah.
So the newspapers in particular are very biased, and so sometimes it's hard to to fully understand where the bias lies. And so it requires students learn so much, and then they teach me. And the most exciting part is that collectively, young people are contributing to the writing of the history of our country.
Yeah. That's awesome. Have you like learned anything new, even just having it in the showcase? Any reactions to it?
You know, I'm learning. The students are doing the research. I'm helping them if they need help, and then I'm learning so much about these individuals. The connections, it doesn't, you know, it doesn't end. So this is a history of disability. It's a history. It's military history. It's a history of whiteness. It's a history of manifest destiny. It's a history of masculinity. It's a history of Nicaragua. It's a history of the U.S. I mean, it doesn't end.
Yeah.
And so yes, I have learned so much. And then here, I've learned that I can take this project in so many new directions.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited.
Awesome. Well, we're so glad you submitted it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Evan Rubin. I am a program director over at the Language Acquisition Resource Center here at San Diego State over in Storm Hall.
Yeah, I'm Bernard. I'm a developer and I create web applications for the Language Acquisition Resource Center, including Lingua Forms.
So Lingua Form is what we're demonstrating here today. Is an online speaking assessment tool in 12 different languages, from Arabic, Chinese, Russian, Spanish, Portuguese, French, German, and all the languages where you can assess if students are at the intermediate or advanced level. The system gives students a prompt where students will listen to a question or scenario. They'll press record and then record their responses. And after they're finished with the 3, 5, or 7 questions, depending how the teacher sets it up, teachers will go in and give a rating and give feedback. And it's a free tool, browser-based. And Bernard here is the developer.
Yeah, we try to make it very easy. So everything, as Evan said, can be done in the browser. You only need like a Safari, Firefox, or Chrome to get onto the system. And it's easy to log in. You only need your email address. It doesn't even have to be SDSU. And and request an assessment in the language that you choose. And so, we have about 12 different languages. It's all centered around like defined prompts that we developed over the years, and where we have native speakers who recorded the voices and then develop all these prompts. And then it's a very easy guided process. So the test taker goes in and then they take a test. So there will be a link. And then it's from step to step, from prompt to prompt, tailored to what the teacher wanted to have. So it can be 3 prompts, it can be 5 prompts, or a longer test. And then you just click or record after reading the question. And all of that will then be a part of your test responses that is then available for the teachers after the test. So they then will go in, go through all the responses of all the students, and have like what you also see here on the screen is like rating criteria that the teacher then will use to gauge and say how good that was, like in grammar and vocabulary and fluency and structure.
Nice. And so you guys mentioned that this is free, anyone can use it, and that courses are already implementing it. What, I guess, inspired you to create a resource like this and make it free?
This has been an ongoing project for over 10 years, actually. It's just been redeveloped recently. And the reason is speaking assessment tools are few and far between. There's official testing, which costs money, called the OPI. It's the Oral Proficiency Interview Test. It costs money, but there's no real online tool to prepare for that. Using prompts that are specifically designed to target the intermediate or advanced level. So this is a tool that can be used for speaking specific assessment, either preparation for that OPI, in the classroom for practice, or kind of end of semester kind of official testing. So this kind of fills the gap of a need for online kind of practice and assessment tools that we're kind of missing in the market.
And maybe a last thing is also we made it free, so it can be used by anyone, nationally, internationally. We've already had like requests from other countries even.
Oh, wow.
But we're still ramping up with the use of the system. And also, if you're a student who just wants to find out how good am I at a certain language, there is also a way to just sign up without a class, without an instructor, and then we will make a test available for it.
Well, that's really cool. Thank you so much for submitting it to the DH showcase.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Marco Alvarez. I'm an undergraduate student here at San Diego State. I created my project. It's titled Portal. It's created using twinery.com. It's an HTML project. Basically, my idea was trying to create a form of non-linear and asynchronous type of storytelling using different poems and poetry that I created, which while they share, maybe similar motifs or similar ideas, they're all entirely separated from one another and have their own messages. And the reason I created it using Twine was so that within the text in it, there are hyperlinks which will link you to the other essays. And instead of just simply having to press a back arrow out, you continue to use the hypertext to guide you through the other essays, through the other poems, and you'll eventually end up reading all of them, even if it takes you, maybe two tries, because I feel that with a lot of electronic literature, it's oftentimes very, simplistic, because it is the most accessible way that we get literature, because people think of e-lit and they just think of, oh, I'm going to read this book, but on my phone. And I feel like electronic literature can be a lot more varied because of the tools that are provided with it. If that makes any sense. The way I like to explain it is like, think.
What's right here?
Oh yeah, it's in one of the other tabs. Sorry. The way I explained it was, think of going on TikTok and you find out about some controversy or some problem or some situation that interests you. Well, unfortunately, you caught it at the very middle of it, so you don't know how it started, but you do want to know how it ended. So using the internet, you go back and forth between different forms of media, figure out what happened, and then as it goes along, you get to the ending. That's kind of the way I wanted to create it, but instead of using videos or images or some form of news story, I just created poetry that kind of gives off that same feeling, but in a more controlled scenario.
Awesome. That's so great. Well, thank you so much.
Yeah.